Extreme Championship.
Okay, now we are into 1992 until 2002. What you're going to see starting now is kind of how anal I can be with my DVDs. Like most people, I actually have them going in chronological order. Once you start to get into some of the other DVDs that are going to have actual dates, you're actually going to see that I literally have them show by show by show by show in full order. So let's get it going, 1992 until 2002. Okay, the first DVD is actually going to be from World Championship Wrestling, WCW, 1992 Tokyo Dome Super Show, 2-night show. I picked this up once again, vendor's table, as I keep saying. Go see your vendors at indie shows. The best match on here, I'd actually have to say. You actually have Sting and the Great Muta taking on the Steiner Brothers. You have Jushin Thunder Liger versus El Samurai. For the WCW World Heavyweight title, Lex Luger versus Masa Chono. I mean, Ludwig Borga, before he went to WWF, you've got Kevin Nash as Oz taking on Shinya Hashimoto. I mean, you've got so many legends on this one show. It is awesome. Okay, from November 6th, 1994, AAA When Worlds Collide from LA. AAA came up to do a show with WCW. A lot of Lucha Libre. If you're a big Lucha Libre fan, you gotta pick it up. My favorite match actually was the Minis match with Mascarita Sangrada and Arpiancito. Oh, you see Rey Mysterio Jr. in here, Chris Benoit. There's a cage match, Pedro Aguayo versus Conan. There's actually a mask versus hair match with Octagon and El Hijo del Santo versus Love Machine and Eddie Guerrero. So you can't beat that match. September 9th, 1999, Anarchy Rules from ECW. You know, once again, ECW, had my little pop to them at the beginning of this video. Best match on here, definitely, there's three. Taz versus Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome for the heavyweight title. Dreamer and Raven versus Carino and Rhino for the World Tag Championships. For the TV title, Van Dam versus Balls Mahoney. I mean, come on, it's great. You've got an International Invasion, Yoshihiro Tajiri versus Super Crazy versus Nunzio, Little Guido. I mean, this was just friggin' awesome. And actually, I got the insert signed by Balls Mahoney. So that's actually in my autograph book, which is pretty cool. All right, 2001, and we're going to Japan. FMW's Yokohama Deathmatch. If you don't know FMW, it's really hardcore. Matter of fact, for this specific DVD, which is FMW Yokohama Deathmatch, the main event is actually a women's death match with Megumi Kudo versus Shark Suichi in a no-rope barbed wire exploding death match. This was actually Megumi Kudo's final match. She got to choose who she wanted. She wanted Shark Suichi. They had a bitter rivalry. Look into it. It's awesome. You actually have in here as well Terry Funk, Cactus Jack, Mike Awesome, Masato Tanaka, Win Tanimura. Hayabusa takes on his rival at that time, Mr. Ganosuke. So watch it and enjoy. Next is FMW, The Judgment. Shawn Michaels is actually in here as a guest referee for the main event, which is actually H versus Hayabusa 2. Hayabusa 2 is actually Mr. Ganosuke in Hayabusa's clothing, pretty much. That's actually one of the best matches on here. You actually have Koto Fuyuki versus Masato Tanaka. You've also got the ECW Tag Champs, Raven and Dreamer are in here. Wing Tanimura takes on Balls Mahoney. We actually have in here Terry Funk and Dory Funk Jr. wrestle on this show. So this is actually when a lot of the ECW guys start to come over to Japan and wrestle with FMW. So if you want to see the start of history, get it. Next is FMW War of Attrition. Same thing as before. Now is really when you do get a lot more of the ECW guys coming over. Matter of fact, the two matches on here are, you actually have Axel Rotten versus Wayne Kanimura. Masato Tanaka takes on Balls Mahoney. Then you actually have in here Balls Mahoney, Axel Rotten, Tajiri, and Super Crazy versus Wayne Kanimura, Koji, Nagawa, Jado, and Gato. You also have H and Mr. Ganosuke taking on Masato Tanaka and Tetsuhiro Kuruda. So, awesome show. Pick it up and love Japanese wrestling. What else can I say? Okay, so the last two DVDs of 2001 are going to be Juggalo Championship Wrestling Volumes 1 and 2. JCW, it's funny. ICP does their own commentary for it. They make fun of a lot of the wrestlers. Chris Hero is in the first one. He wrestles, actually does pretty good. In the second, then actually in both DVDs, Rude Boy takes on Abdullah the Butcher. Doesn't win either match, so little spoiler. But it's just fun to see Abby in the ring. Okay, so the first two DVDs of 2002 are going to be XPW, Baptized in Blood and Baptized in Blood 2. Both of these are deathmatch tournaments put on by XPW. The first one was to actually crown their king of the deathmatch. And the second one, they just put on just to see what all blood can they get. A lot of good matches, actually. In the second one, besides the King of the Deathmatch tournaments, you've got New Jack in there, the Messiah, Juventud Guerrera versus Kid Cass, you know. So, pick it up if you like deathmatch wrestling. Even if you don't like deathmatch wrestling, it's just a good pickup. Okay, next we've got XPW Freefall. The main event on here is actually a 40-foot scaffold match, New Jack versus Vic Grimes, plus a buck naked match between Lizzie Borden and Veronica Kane. Once again, something like this, especially with that match, you can see a lot of TNA from the girls, so if you're a horny guy, enjoy. That's really about it. Okay, and finally, you've got XPW, Go Funk Yourself. The main event on here was actually the XPW World Title match. This was actually for their one-year anniversary. Sabu versus Terry Funk. Then you also have the King of the Deathmatch title match. The Champion Supreme takes on the Messiah. You've also got Polo the Clown in here against Mizawa. Mexico's Most Wanted, Tracy Smothers, White Trash Johnny Webb, Cronus. I mean, just a lot of big names on here, especially on the indie circuit. So yeah, I mean, if you like XPW, pick it up.
you.